I'm a scat man.
Is this the new music?
Yep.
I'm calling out from Scatland. I'm calling out from Scatman's world. If you wanna break free, you better listen to me. You've got to learn how to see in your fantasy.
Welcome back to the Transgending podcast. This is us still here, recording another episode on the same day. I'm Charlotte. We have Kate and Chelsea here as well.
I'm Scatman John.
Oh my god.
And welcome to Scatman's World podcast.
I'll have to... Because I don't know how well that's being picked up by the mic. I think I'm going to have to just start the podcast with
I don't think you need it in.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think the audience
Right.
needs to know
They don't need to know.
that I've been listening to Scatman John.
They don't need to know about that, but I'll tell them.
His hit single, Scatman, ski bop 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 dop bop, or something. And Scatman's World. And he had other hits, the internet claims.
Such as the greatest hits of Scatman
Everybody
John.
Jam,
Oh.
Sing Now,
Sing now.
The Invisible Man. There's also Scatman's Dance.
Ah.
Scatman's World, Scatman's Dance.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
Scatman
and,
World.
and his crazy Frog Axel F cover.
Oh my god.
I mean, he was around before Crazy Frog.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. Crazy Frog, been around since 2005. That's like an eternity.
No, it's older. I mean, that's a problem.
I
That-
pictured it 20,
That frog is a problem.
That frog is a problem.
2001,
It's so,
wasn't
like, I can't even start with how problematic that is.
Start. Let's do it.
it? Is it?
I mean, the name
Yeah.
is
Ableist.
one thing, but like, it came from an old internet meme of someone pretending to be a tractor, and I think it was ableist because, like, I don't know if the person, was like disabled or something. But that was the implication of the meme at the time.
Huh.
What a dark start.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, everyone. I've ruined Crazy Frog for you because
That's fine,
It
it's
was already
not
so
good.
annoying. It was already so bad.
it
Very
needed more
irritating.
ruining.
And now it's worse.
That's good. Very glad.
Also known as that annoying thing, or the annoying thing.
What about like one of the other ones like Schnappy or Gummy Bear?
Schnappy. I think Schnappy's perfectly.
Schnappy's fine, just a crocodile.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
It's just a
No
German
problems.
children's song about a crocodile.
Das Krokodil.
But wasn't it just capitalizing off
Germans?
Yes.
of the Crazy Frog hype?
It was the whole
Yeah.
Jamster thing. It was
Yeah.
like you'd pay a subscription fee to a single product,
And then you get a phone tune.
and you'd get so much. Like, kids would just be sapping their parents
Yep.
forever. It's kind of like the in-app purchases of the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It's utterly ridiculous because nobody has a ringtone now except for people who are middle-aged. Like, literally everybody
Yeah, my
has their
phone just
phones on
vibrates.
vibrate.
Yeah.
It's true.
But
But
like-
then when you lose your phone, you wish you had a ringtone.
No, you just have to go around room to room listening to it go...
I'm just on a very soft surface. What if you dropped it in agar jelly?
Drop
Well,
what?
then it would still be there. And you'd be like, where did I put my jelly?
Oh, right.
Oh, I put my phone in the jelly.
Then you'd find your phone.
Nelly.
But then you might accidentally eat your phone, and that's a problem too.
That
They're
is a-
wafer thin.
I mean, phones are getting smaller and smaller.
They're too small.
They're too small now. You could accidentally inhale it.
Like, you might, like, it'd lacerate your throat on the way down. It's that thin. That's not good. Don't eat phones.
You can actually just pass it through your skin safely because that's how small it is.
Yeah, true.
That the atoms just pass right through.
And then it hits one, and nuclear fusion happens within your body. We're so sorry.
Sorry.
So just don't eat phones.
Did you read the terms and conditions? This was always a possibility.
Somewhere around page 50 of the iTunes terms and conditions says that you can't use it for nuclear proliferation.
Yes.
Yep. So don't do it. You're violating the terms and conditions.
Hey, do you remember what we were doing last time?
Yeah, last time, this time, last time.
Yeah, but
few-
like for the listener, it'll be last time.
Oh, yep.
Hey,
last
listener.
Time. Hey, how you doing?
Gonna get real personal.
You.
How's your day been?
How you doing?
Tell me about your day. We'll listen for a little bit. You can tell us.
My
now.
good friend Dave, out there listening, Trans Dave. How you doing?
Let Trans Dave talk.
Oh,
I'm glad to hear it, Trans Dave. Glad things are looking up.
What happened to Trans Dave?
Staff.
Staff.
No, it wasn't. That's cruel.
That's cruel to our imaginary
Trans
friend.
Dave had it was a bit down. He was a bit down on his luck.
Oh yeah.
He lost his favorite pair of Doc Martens.
Oh shit, I can really relate to that.
Yeah, and then
Trans Dave, how are you so careless? Those shoes are huge. Where did you lose them?
They're tiny actually. Trans Dave has really small
Trans
feet.
Dave is a giant
No.
and wears the docs on his fingers.
Oh my god. It's just like
what's that, Trans Dave? You're not actually a giant. I'm sorry.
God, this feels like Good Morning Vietnam, where Robin Williams is just like, oh, it's my good friend. This person starts doing the voice.
Yeah, like I can't. I'm no Robin Williams. Like I can't do the voice. I'm no Robbie Williams either. Actually.
Oh yeah, I checked.
I'm not any
Let
Williams.
me just fact check that.
I used to get them confused.
I'm
when I
not
was a
Serena
kid.
Williams or
No.
Venus Williams
Definitely not.
or the third sister of Williams.
What does she do?
If I knew, I'd tell you.
You wouldn't do it either.
Yeah, that wouldn't be me.
All right, do we want to jump
Trans
back
Dave,
in?
what's your last name?
Oh my god.
Oh, it's Williams. Trans Dave Williams.
Oh. Is this a segment now?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's Trans Dave up
It's
to?
regular.
Just
It happens
check in.
every week.
Every week.
Talk to Trans Dave.
Can't not happen.
Anyway, he was meant to go to a music festival and he didn't have his docs.
Oh,
So
And he couldn't go?
you can't go without docs.
he was supposed to go to Groove in the Moo in Canberra with his friends. Non-binary Neville
Oh my god.
and genderqueer Queenie.
Why does the Trans Dave's name start with a T? If the other ones do?
Because that's his name, alright? It's Trans Dave's name.
Why are you drawing these lines? It doesn't have to be that way. Like, coincidences are real.
Yeah, stop putting your expectations on Dave.
Sorry.
Trans Dave's who Trans Dave is.
Sorry, Trans Dave and friends.
Yeah.
Et al.
Trans Dave et al.
Anyway, we'll check back in with them later.
Yeah.
The rest of you listeners, do you remember what we were doing?
Vote yes.
Press 1 for yes. Press 2 for no. Press 3 for this is a tired bit. Can you please move on?
Please stop
let me just
speaking to
tally
us.
those. It was 3.
It was 3. All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll move back to doing terminology. This is terminology part 2. And by part 2, I mean we're probably going to exhaust this quickly and move on to Yahoo Answers and Reddit.
Okay, so we've been working from glad.org, GLAAD.org, their reference for media reference guide for transgender issues. So it's their recommendation for what the media should use to refer to trans people. A lot of these things we either agree with or don't, and try and make it a bit better.
What does GLAD stand for?
Probably gay, lesbian, something. I'll check it out.
Gay, lesbian, and
Advocacy and diversity. I made that up. I'm sorry.
anti-discrimination?
Anti and discrimination.
Anti-Dave.
Anti-Dave.
Why? Poor Dave.
Oh. Right, so do we want to jump back to the terms while you look that up?
Alright, I have the term in front of me.
Oh, you go then.
I have where we're up to.
Cisgender.
Yeah. Which I think...
We gotta do this. We gotta know. I mean,
Alright,
you asked
okay.
the question, we've gotta give an answer.
Well, we'll let you grab the answer.
Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation.
Okay.
Oh! That sounds very 70s.
But GLAD has become just like the primary name. Like you just say GLAD because they want to include bi, trans, poly, pan
I
issues.
feel like that's the worst way to do it.
What?
To start including everyone else is to, like, instead of actually changing it, leaving it the same and frequently just referring to it as the acronym.
Well, I think GLAD is a pretty good acronym.
Yeah.
GLAD.
GLAD.
GLAD. It's 2 A's. Like aardvark.
They could make it GLADE, and the E could stand for everything else.
Gay, lesbian, et al.
That's too
cetera.
real.
It's just they put an and in there, an ampersand.
Gay, lesbian, and Mardi Gras.
I'm an and. Anyway, hey, what are we up to? Which one are we?
Cisgender.
Cool.
Which I think is actually the most important word for cis people to know.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Otherwise, how do they know?
You just use the word normal, and that is very offensive.
Yeah, please don't.
Although I don't really think I am normal, but that's
It's a
not because
completely
I'm
different,
trans.
completely different kettle of fish.
Yep.
Do you like kettles of fish? I've never had a kettle of
I like
fish.
kettle-
Why would you
chips.
put
Oh, yeah.
fucking fish in a kettle? Like,
Yeah, why
that's
would you do
shit.
that?
God, it's got to come from a good place.
I can understand.
From the bottom of someone's warm, kind, loving heart.
From the bottom of their
the
warm, kind,
phrase.
loving stove.
Do you want to read what cisgender means?
Yeah, you go.
All right. A term used by some. Okay, whatever. A term used by some to describe people who are not transgender. Cis is a Latin prefix meaning on the same side as, and therefore an antonym of trans. A more widely understood way to describe people who are not transgender is simply to say non-transgender people.
Is
But okay,
Glad.
so the problem with that is the whole like non,
yeah,
because it's like
we're the other.
like the deficit model. You're not one of these.
Yeah. It's like when I talk about people, I'm referring to all the normal people. When I want to talk about you guys, I'm gonna...
God,
You're the
it's-
transers.
That's so fucking real, though. When like there was this thread on Ask Reddit, which is probably the worst place in the world
Ever.
ever.
That's Reddit in a nutshell.
That's pretty much it. Just a bunch of like white cis dudes chatting each other
College
up,
aged.
Chatting each other up.
chatting each other up, hitting each other up for blowjobs. No, it was a thread just being like, if women could be told one thing about men, what would you tell them? And obviously, like, make them understand one thing about men. And obviously, it was a whole bunch of things like how great it feels to be able to scratch your testicles, or
Yeah, literally all of those lists are always about balls.
it's like, what is it? Like, I don't even like having balls. Why do people? Like, I have no problem with having a dick, but balls, they're just not that great. They're just pretty subpar.
I mean, it's not really the balls you're scratching, is it? It's
He's
scrot.
scratching the scrotum,
You're
yeah.
scratching the scrot.
You know, like, I'm not even keen on that. It's not the best. Yeah, I wouldn't
People are
mind.
just really inaccurate with the words they use for junk.
True, very
Yeah.
true.
More for vagina than,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
you know, penisy, testically, scrotal anatomy.
Like, sometimes people say pussy for vagina. I'm like, no, that means cat. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I'm
That's
just
slang.
confused.
Don't be silly.
Sorry.
Because like like there's like people not knowing the difference between the various parts of anatomy. Of
Yeah. They're just like, what are these? I don't understand. Like, that's labia. Sorry, what?
What? Read my lips. It's labia.
Read my lips. Oh, my God, Chelsea.
That's good. Do we have anything else to say about cis?
Oh, yeah, the part where, like, not all people...
The part where it says a term used by some people to describe.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of feeds into the thing where, like, a lot of cis people are like, no, I'm not cis. Don't use that on me.
Cis is a slur.
It's just like...
Don't do labels when it's like, okay, don't do labels. All right, so you're not a man, you're not a woman. you
Yeah.
know.
You're not wearing clothes. You don't.
Like, I have a very long-winded thing that I launch into sometimes when people are seriously talking to me about how labels suck. I'm just like, okay, let me describe you a friend, and I, like, have to completely describe a school building without using any terms at all to try and describe that they're a school teacher, and it goes on for, like, 5 fucking minutes because I
But
didn't
can
use
you
any
even?
labels.
Because then you're trying to like even just saying a brick is a label of what a brick is.
Yeah,
You
know?
can't not.
Like,
it's
you
start like
cannot
all words.
talk without using labels.
I have to
Nouns.
reduce everything
I don't
to the
believe
most...
in nouns.
I have to reduce everything to the most basic nouns possible, otherwise I can't even speak at all. But that's not using most labels, I suppose.
So
Yeah.
for me, it's like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a carpenter. Why do we use labels? Like, we're all just human. I need a carpenter. You just need a human that can carpent? Is that even a word?
And everybody else is just a not carpenter.
I'm a demigirl. Oh, if you didn't know what that word was, probably wouldn't be it. That's another thing that I see way
you
too
didn't
much.
know what the word human was.
Yeah, would you know how to identify with it?
Probably.
Probably.
Especially if there's other people like you around.
Yep.
You would start forming groups. It's only natural. And that's fine.
And then other people form other groups, and then you start wars.
Or, you
Human
know,
nature.
live in harmony, as also happens
I'm sorry,
a hell
what?
of a lot.
One thing The sun is directly in my eyes.
Yeah, that's
Would you
not
want some
good.
cool shades?
Is there anything we can do to fix it?
Cool shades?
Yeah, do you want cool shades?
If that is
I've
what we
also
have to
got
do, then
cool
that's what we
shades.
have to do.
Or
Here's
we
cool
can
shades.
give you a cap. Do you want my hat from my head?
Thank you. I'll see how the shades go.
Oh, that is so cool.
You should record every
like
podcast
Top
wearing
Gun.
cool shades.
My phone is like rainbow now. That's a good idea.
Polarized. Like labels, polarizing.
God, it's true.
Alright, so what's the next one? Friendos?
Gender non-conforming. So, I'll do this one.
Yep.
A term used to describe some people whose gender expression is different from conventional expectations of masculinity and femininity. Please note that not all gender non-conforming people identify as transgender, nor are all transgender people gender non-conforming. That's actually a pretty good please note. Many people have gender expressions that are not entirely conventional. That fact alone does not make them transgender. Many transgender men and women have gender expressions that are conventionally masculine, or they're really just kind of drawing it out but only giving like binary explanations. Simply being transgender does not make someone gender non-conforming. The term is not a synonym for transgender or transsexual and should only be used if someone self-identifies as gender non-conforming.
I think gender non-conforming is a really good way to talk about children.
Yeah.
Actually, like, you know, whilst I want to avoid gendering kids as much as possible, like I think, I don't know, if a parent or anybody is like concerned or just wants to check out why my kid's doing this thing that isn't normally associated with the gender I gave it.
It. Them.
I think, like that is the best way to talk about that kind
The
of
other
stuff.
people.
I love that, like, you talk about, like, less than 3-year-olds with it. You've done it a lot.
Oh, whatever.
It's a baby.
It's a baby. No,
Well,
no,
they're
I'm not,
a
saying,
baby.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying I like it because it's not something that people usually do. It's just entertaining, I suppose.
There is some places where you can use it on people.
Really? How?
What's that over there? Oh, it's a police officer.
Oh.
Some people just use it as a personal pronoun.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
But isn't in the instance of it's a police officer, it
There
is
is.
referring to the job title? Like
yeah,
the
or-
position in society?
Or you're also referring to, like, just the physical, like what the thing is that they're seeing,
yeah.
rather than the person. Anyway,
Object in sight.
there's probably some kind of grammatical reason for that. But anyway, moving on.
Linguists.
Do you have anything else to say about gender non-conforming?
I don't know. I consider myself gender non-conforming.
Yeah, I guess I wear cargo pants. That's not usually...
But it can be, like...
yeah. Like, that's the whole thing. Where does it become gender non-conforming?
Yeah, that's the thing, because like there are definitely cargo pants made for men and cargo pants made for women. And, like, if a person of the other gender was the other kind of cargo pants, they're gender non-conforming. Like, what? It's such a weird
You're wearing the
arbitrary-
wrong cargo pants.
Robert, these are the wrong trousers. It's like every morning. That was a reference to Wallace and Gromit, a stop-motion animation show.
Claymation.
Stop motion.
Clay.
Also clay.
By Aardman.
Aardman?
Yeah.
What's Aardman?
That's the, like, production company.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. They do Shaun the Sheep and stuff.
Yeah, love that stuff.
Okay. Next one. We got genderqueer. A
Cool.
term used by some people who experience their gender identity and or gender expression as falling outside the categories of man and woman. They may define their gender as falling somewhere in between man and woman, or they may define it as wholly different from these terms. The term is not a synonym for transgender or transsexual, and should only be used if someone self-identifies as genderqueer.
Why is non-binary not on this
I
list?
don't know.
Like, for fuck's sake.
Oh, also, I was meant to bring this up last episode, but like cis people frequently, and like not even just cis people, I've seen like at least one trans person do it, like use the term opposite sex.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of trans people are still like binary essentialists that are just kind of like, oh yeah, there's definitely a gender binary.
Maybe they're just like, a lot of the time, I want to point out that they just haven't been exposed.
Yeah, that's true. But that's the
Yeah.
same for anyone though.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you can be exposed and rejected, or you haven't been exposed.
Yeah.
So the term opposite sex is incredibly problematic because it implies that there's only two sexes, whereas this is a societal construction like based on chromosomes and like a whole bunch of things that people don't actually know, coupled together with what you're assigned at birth as your gender, because that is frequently lumped in and it's kind of weird.
But still, like, some people try and fix it and be like, oh, yeah, like,
No,
opposite
it's cool
gender.
now. I fixed it.
No, but, like, just saying gender doesn't make it any better.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not oppositional in any way.
No.
They can be
Definitely
concurrent. They can be, yeah, like opposite is like, we've talked about this before, cats and dogs are not opposites.
Yeah.
Because,
No,
like,
no.
birds and fish exist. Like,
So,
Thank
okay,
you.
birds are opposite to cats and fish are opposite to dogs.
Damn it.
Dogs are both opposite to cats and fish.
Draw the diagram. I'm going to put it up on the show notes. All right.
Very few things have opposites.
Well, and then we'll also do non-binary. Do you want to do non-binary now?
okay. Well, I mean, it's not on here.
It's not on there, but like I have a feeling that you and I both know the term well enough. And also Chelsea, even though you're not non-binary, you are very well educated. So
Cheers.
Well, yeah, I would say it's another one of those umbrella terms that just exists to encapsulate, like, gender identities that are not strictly male or female. Like, I would say genderqueer just is also an umbrella term, but I would put it under the umbrella of non-binary. Again, like super umbrellas.
super umbrella.
I would include non-binary, like, I personally include non-binary under the trans umbrella.
Oh right. Oh, you mean nested umbrellas? I think
Well,
super
umbrellas
umbrella
all the
would be
way
like a
down.
big umbrella stretching over like all these
Yeah.
terms, but they are mixed together. But whereas if it's a nested umbrella, it's a smaller umbrella under the bigger umbrella.
Nested umbrellas.
Nested umbrellas. I'm just like slowly making everyone that listens to this podcast into like programmers.
Go away. Stop. Stop.
Leave your logic out of this.
Leave this place. All right, we'll head on to. This is just sort of like advice, which is some of them I'm gonna amend as I talk about them. Like always use a transgender person's. Here it says chosen name, but it is like their name. It's like whether or not it's chosen is not a problem.
Whether or not it's legal is also not a problem.
That is also true.
People
like,
often use that as like, oh yeah, but what's your real name?
Yeah, oh,
The real name
God.
is the name I give you.
Is that really your name though? You should say it to cis people. Oh my god.
Yeah, but what's your real name?
Yeah.
I don't believe John's your actual name. You don't look like a John. What's your name?
Are you sure you're a John? I'm pretty sure
Show
John's a
me your
girl's
birth
name.
Yeah,
certificate.
John's a girl's name.
So yeah, it's like it's not chosen name, it's just their name. Like they did choose it, yes, but it's also like it's not their new name, it's not their chosen name.
Some
it's
cis
not
people
their-
choose a name too.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, that's hardly ever a problem.
Yeah. Like what, you chose a new name? Don't look like a Mary to me.
You say you're Ben, but I don't know, this birth certificate says Benjamin.
It's just like a doctor holding it up, pointing directly at the rest of the name.
So, Mr. Benjamin
Non-transman.
Williams.
Non-trans person.
Mr. Benjamin Williams. Just call me Ben, it's fine. No. Legally, you're Mr. Benjamin Williams.
Is he related to Dave?
Yes.
Are they siblings?
He's cis Ben.
Oh my god.
They're really good mates, though.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So they're not related because they have the same last name.
no, they are related. They're brothers, but they are mates.
Okay.
Because that doesn't always happen.
Okay.
No, they get
I'm
along
like-
really well. Actually, cis Ben was on his way to Grooving the Moon in Canberra as well.
Oh,
last
cool.
weekend. Yeah.
And none of them went?
Oh, they all went. It's just that Dave forgot his docs.
Yeah.
So he had to wear, like,
Fucking van.
ballet
Conos. And, like, it was wet. And so his Chuck Taylors got all moist.
Dave, you should have gone shoeless.
Damp feet. That's not safe, you know? You get trodden on by everyone else in their docs.
Damn it.
It was
That's why-
chilly in the
Mess.
Canberra air.
Oh,
I hate it gets so cold.
it does. It's so cold in Canberra.
We're so weak though. We're from up north. Northerners.
Go on to the next topic.
All right.
North of the wall.
North of the wall.
No.
What?
Sorry, this is just a problematic point
Oh, which one?
that I
What?
read.
Oh.
If it is not possible to ask a transgender person which pronoun is preferred, use the pronoun that is consistent with the person's appearance and gender expression.
Why is it not possible? I'm
And then-
really
You
curious.
skip one. You skip one, mate.
And it says,
Oh, they kind of tie in together though.
They do.
for example, I skipped one. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the one that I skipped is just, wherever possible, ask transgender people which pronoun they would like you to use. I want to add an addendum to that. Ask everybody which pronoun they would like you to use.
Yeah.
When you ask them that, I don't know, I am often not confident enough to do it. But it helps if everybody does it.
And if you're in a good, conducive environment to that sort of thing,
Yeah.
it helps. But yeah, sometimes it's the same thing. It's like, don't want to get in this argument with a potentially very right-wing person over this right now.
Yeah.
But we should do it.
Sorry. I'm overflowing with what people assume is confidence, but it's actually just part of my Asperger's stuff where I will just do it fairly aggressively. Just be like, you really should have asked me my pronoun at all times. I just... Like, people tell me it's really tactless, but when it comes to these kinds of things, I see it as more of a... Probably a good thing.
So even taking what Glad's writing here about ask transgender people which pronoun they would like you to use. Okay, how do you know which person's transgender?
I was exactly about to say that. Like, the other caveat is that it just assumes you can pick a trans.
Please clock the transes and then ask them. It's very polite.
Only when possible, though.
Only when possible.
If it's not possible, just, like, choose whichever one you think fits them.
Please pick for them.
So my reading of this, we talked a bit about this before the show. It's bad, you should always ask everyone for pronouns. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what they're trying to do is if you're in the media and it's like, don't, like, if, I don't know, I hate being misgendered based on the fact that they think that they've clocked some physical aspect of you, like, contra to the way you're choosing to express and present yourself. And yes, like, gender expression is different from gender identity, so you can't pick up on that at all. But it seems like people are so essentialist in the physical aspects that they think that that's the underlying thing. That's what you really are.
I really don't know if there's a way to change that anytime soon.
I don't think there is.
It sucks so much.
And the best way is just for the whole of society to ask people what pronouns they use.
And I get so many things, like, I've told many people that they should be changing their ways to this, and just so many, like, fucking lazy responses, just kind of like, oh, that's so much work. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to assume, because most of the time I'll be right, and I don't care if I'm excluding trans people. And, like... And the whole thing of trying to explain compartmentalization of gender and, like, separating it out from a person's appearance, just, it completely goes through people's, like, grasp of things. And is it really that difficult? Am I just sort of being dismissive of people's hang-ups around this? Or, like, are people just really set in their ways?
A lot of people haven't ever known anything different. And also people just have this tendency to want to simplify things as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's about, like, displacing and misplacing effort.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have to put any effort, but that means that we have to put in so much effort.
So much.
And pain.
Oh, yeah. It's more than just effort for us.
Yeah. Like, for them, it's just, like, fairly minimal effort. And then for us, it's dysphoria.
The next one's good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll do it then. It is never appropriate to put quotation marks around either a transgender person's chosen name or the pronoun that reflects that person's gender identity. Fucking yep.
Like, it's good, but I wish Glad would just calm the fuck down. Like, you don't need to say the pronoun that reflects that person's gender identity. You can just say
their pronouns.
Their pronoun. Like, it's not a chosen name. It's just a
their
name.
name.
Like, their name or their pronoun. Like, fucking...
But are they just trying to make this so clear for the media who's potentially really shit in reading this?
I see.
Just got to remember the audience that this is made for.
That makes sense.
Well, do we want to jump on to something else now? We've kind of come down to, like, Associated Press style books.
No, this one's really interesting.
All right.
Yeah, did you ever read ahead?
No, I didn't actually.
Okay.
I just saw AP style book and I skipped it. I was like,
Yeah, okay,
The Associated Press Style Book provides guidelines for journalists reporting on transgender people and issues. According to the AP Style Book, reporters should use the pronoun preferred by the individuals who have acquired the physical characteristics of the opposite sex or present themselves in a way that does not correspond with their sex at birth. If that preference is not expressed, use the pronoun consistent with the way the individuals live publicly. I wonder how old that is.
Like, that makes a little bit of sense. As in, like, if you're a journalist that knows somebody is trans but isn't out, don't out them.
Yes.
Is what the last part means, which is good. But also, like, the first part is kind of just, like, ascertain somebody's assigned gender at birth. Check if they've had the surgeries.
How?
Like, they did not specify the characteristics. It doesn't say how. It could be like a Highlander deal. I don't know. It could be...
Kill them and check.
I don't know how you would acquire physical characteristics. Is it through, like, Lamarckian evolution?
I downloaded Highlander this morning. I need to know what you're on about. It looks good. It's got Sean Connery.
Yeah, have a watch. Don't
watch.
watch the sequel.
Oh, I won't.
All right. Yeah, that's a bit awful, isn't it? This is what they're reading from the New York Times style guide in the AP
yeah.
novel.
Also, opposite sex.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right there. Just
Right
after
there.
we condemned its usage.
This is not actually a very good guide.
It's really bad. That's why we
To be
picked
honest,
it.
the deeper we get into it, the more like I feel alienated by it.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe the worse the guide is, the more we have to talk about.
But the other cool thing is, right, like what happens if our audience is looking up something, they come across this or something very similar to this. I mean, we're giving them, we're picking it apart for them.
Yeah. If we just read a regular guide, we'd just be reading it off word for word and going, yep, everyone agree, yep, next one.
I agree with this. This is nice. This is
Yeah.
This is correct. This is written by people of these identities,
Yep.
not about them.
Yep.
Although, to be honest, if like every single person I am ever going to interact with read and followed this guide, even that would make a huge difference.
It's true.
That's true.
It's so true. It's like increments, yay. It's incrementally better.
Well, I
We're gonna aim for more than that, but
Yep.
Do we want to? Because I was going to say, do we want to look at the problematic terms?
I do.
But all of the problematic terms are basically just different, like ways, different and wrong ways to say the word transgender.
No one said the T slur in this podcast yet.
No, it's just like transgendered, transgenderism.
this is
What, me first?
No, just this. Do not say Tony is a transgender.
Like specifically that sentence. Do not. Tony fucking hates that.
don't say it to Tony.
Trans Dave doesn't mind though.
Trans Dave's cool with that.
That's cool.
Tony, they're not so cool.
No.
The parade included many transgenders.
Oh my god.
It's not
Like,
a
what
noun.
fucking parade is that though?
What's that?
If we're gonna be real, most pride parades do not contain many transgenders.
No. They contain some.
We're working on it.
Working on
The
it.
parade. The parade.
The parade.
Is it a parade for pariahs?
The thing that they replaced Tony is a transgender with is not actually the equivalent sentence because it says Tony is a transgender man, not Tony is transgender.
They're
Yes.
just assuming that Tony is a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Tony is a transgender person if you don't know.
Yeah. Or you could just say transgender for
Tony
shorthand.
is transgender. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Although, are they saying that like that is like? I think. Do you reckon what Glad could be getting at there is that like you don't want to reduce a person's whole identity to this one facet of themselves?
I mean, anytime you talk about just one part of a person's identity, you're technically reducing it, right? Without
don't
talking
know.
about everything at once. But then again, you're not really reducing it because you're not saying it's just that.
But I think you need the noun. You need
Yeah, like
Yeah.
In a media guide,
person, man, woman.
if it was just like the byline was like, "This is an interview with Tony.
Mm.
Tony is transgender." Like,
I think my main problem with it stems from like that would usually, if you say Tony is a transgender something, it's usually going to be followed up with man or woman. Whereas if you just say Tony is transgender, they could also be non-binary. But I have a feeling that they'd be reductionist. So if you're a non-binary man or a non-binary woman, and you were being interviewed for press stuff, they'd be like, "Oh, that's a non-binary man."
or just a straight out
I mean,
non-binary.
a trans man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, people always want to know which way you're transing.
How
God.
are you trans?
Which way do you trans? I generally transgend towards the ocean.
Which side of the
I-
tracks are you from?
I actually had someone ask me once which direction.
And you were like, "It's a secret."
North.
South-southwest.
Beyond the wall.
Into the future. Temporarily forward. We haven't figured out how to go back.
I gotta go back, Marty.
Have to trans back.
I'm trans. Oh, detransition is a thing.
It is a thing.
Yep. There's another word that's not on here, detransition.
I heard somebody, I forget who it was somebody on the internet, some trans person on YouTube, I think, talking about like the way detransitioning is viewed. It doesn't always mean the person isn't trans anymore.
Yeah.
Like
frequently,
detransitioning can cover things like, you know, I don't know, going back to your old name
Mm.
or like going off hormones or all these types of things, and it doesn't mean
Or,
the person isn't trans.
Changing your presentation for safety.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
being able to afford the treatment you were having previously.
yeah.
Trying to get employment. Trying to get pregnant.
Yep.
All sorts of things.
Oh yeah, my dad was encouraging me to like go off hormones so that I could freeze my sperm. I was like, no, like I don't want biological kids. Sorry, assigned kids at birth.
I don't think that's how it works.
No, it's not.
What the hell does that mean?
They're not cyborg children. You know, they are biological children.
I'm making a callback to a joke I made last year, which was someone said biological but dad, and I went, excuse you, it's assigned dad at birth. For our listeners out there who may be a little bit confused, because we are just touching on these phrases every now and then, assigned male at birth or assigned female at birth are the usual terms to describe how doctors assigned your gender at birth.
It's actually touch on it in the guide just a little bit further down.
Oh, cool.
Other variants on that include coerced.
Coerced.
Coerced male, coerced female.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works quite well. That
I
works
think
better.
that's like often it is more of an intersex thing, but I think sometimes trans people use it as well.
If it's an intersex thing, we should probably leave it alone.
But
Like, we encroach on their community way too much.
I've never seen anybody saying that they can't, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's just a term that...
I know trans people that have co-opted intersex terminology, and
Yeah.
like
I'm not
I've read a
saying-
lot
I'm
of
not saying it
articles
doesn't
saying "fucking don't do it."
I've seen it happen in the medical community too.
Yep.
Yep. They are distinct, but
Yep.
sometimes overlapping.
Yep.
Yes.
Which is something we haven't touched on. It's just the idea that like, so an intersex person is still going to be assigned.
Yeah. And
At
frequently that's wrong.
Oh.
All right. Next problematic term.
Do you want to go to biologically male?
Sure, let's go with that.
Because the other ones are like sex change, transgenderism, transgendered.
We
Yeah,
jumped
we
the gun on
already
all
went
this, didn't we?
We've kind of done those though,
We
haven't we?
we gun jumped.
We gone jump.
We gun jumped up. All right. So yeah, biologically male, biologically female, genetically female, born a man, born a woman. They're all very like trans exclusionary radical feminist or trans woman exclusionary feminist terms. They're very essentialist, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just sort of like you are this, therefore you were this, or therefore, like, but not even you were this. It's also them imposing that you were
You're
these
never not
things.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's also very like sex or like genitalia essentialist as well.
yeah,
Because like, I don't know, one of the most affirming things any adult has ever said to me about being trans was literally that I was born this way. That like it's actually...
Did they sing it to you?
No, like my psych said like you were always like it's in your brain.
Cool, you got a good psych.
And I was like, that is like that feels so good to have like a professional adult
Is that a psychologist or psychiatrist?
psychologist.
Ah, damn. I'm looking for more good psychiatrists for transgeneral.supplies.
This particular one can do the WPATH though.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Dr. Julie Cat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, put that on the website.
Yeah.
All right. Some other
Oh, no, I
bad
want to
terms
point out
here.
one more thing. The born a man, born a woman thing, they make the little kind of joke that often comes up. People are born as babies, not born a man or a woman. Like,
A fully formed.
It just came out of the womb as a man.
Yeah, touching back on episode 1 here. This is we are reusing jokes now.
yeah. But hey, you know what? Glad's using it too, and I'm glad they are.
Do we even want to go into defamatory terms?
Jeez, let's do
Do
the
we?
first
This is a bit of an
line,
ordeal.
maybe. What?
That's just, oh.
Chelsea, I'll let you.
Okay, this is defamatory terms. So anything to do with deceptive, fooling, pretending, posing, trap, or masquerading. And they say that gender identity is an integral part of a person's identity. Do not characterize transgender people as deceptive, fooling, trapping others, or pretending or posing to be a man or a woman, or other identities they leave off again. Such descriptions are defamatory and insulting. I mean, obviously, like, this isn't about tricking people. This is people's genuine self.
Like, just the audacity of cis people to assume that we've put this much effort into trying to live authentically just to fucking trick them. That's huge.
It's amazing. Like, and also it's just sort of like, you really don't get us. Why would we want to trick you into anything? Can we trick you into being further away from us?
Yeah, it's like
If you're like
the
one
type
of those
person who would
people-
think that, I don't want to like, you know,
Yeah.
trick you into fucking me or anything like that.
Yeah, like if I've talked to you for a little bit, I probably know that, like, if you hold these kind of views, I probably know that I should be at least another 5 meters away from you.
Yep.
Yep.
But like people shouldn't have to disclose their trans status to
Yeah.
other people.
Not at all.
And if people find out that's not, they're being authentic to themselves. It's not.
Yeah.
Yep. And I do think this disproportionately affects like people who assign male as well.
Yeah.
I agree.
Trans women and trans femmes the most. Yep.
It does happen to a lesser extent in the gay male community.
It does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like much lesser extent.
The next one just says don't use slurs.
Yeah.
There is a really good point in that body paragraph, though, that it does, like, you know, it outlines the slurs in the headline, but then it goes on to talk about how in the media, even if you're trying to quote, oh, X person used this slur, you should never say the slur,
Yeah, that's good.
which is very useful information.
I was thinking perhaps we should give a warning about doing slurs and then just outline them for people who really don't know that these could be slurs. But then again, why are they listening to our podcast?
Yeah, okay, no, we'll do it.
Well,
Yep.
look, because there are trans people who've heard other trans people say these
Oh,
words.
that's true.
And they think they're okay. You know, young trans
But they're
people,
not.
older trans people who just
Yeah.
are behind the zeitgeist. So,
All right, so skip forward 2 minutes if you don't want to hear a few slurs. Me? All right. Tranny, she-male, he, she, it, shim. Never fucking use those, ever.
None of them.
None of them. If you're trans, specifically for the first two and the last one, if you're a trans woman, like, yes, you can use those. They're still like, they're not good.
I think tranny of all of them is the one that's been reclaimed
Yes.
the most.
Yes.
And some people use it to either defang the slur
Mm-hmm.
or to empower themselves, or you know, as this like an identifier.
I do use it to defang, yeah.
But it is a difficult thing because it even mentions it here in the guide. Please note that while some transgender people may use the word tranny to describe themselves, others find it profoundly offensive.
Yeah.
So for me, like if I hear a trans woman say it,
Yeah.
I'm not offended.
Yeah.
Or trans femme, but I don't think it belongs to anyone else because traditionally that slur has been used as a way to demonize, ridicule other trans women and goes hand in hand with violence against trans women.
Yep.
Anyone else doesn't have that history with the term.
I really don't think any of the other ones should ever, like...
So, I mean, the thing with it, sometimes it's people's pronouns.
That's true. But
If
that's
they
not
choose-
as a reclamation thing. Well, it could be as a reclamation thing, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's often used by people to, like, almost...
As a provocative thing?
Yeah, as a provocative sort of thing.
Yeah.
also sometimes just totally remove themselves from gender.
Mm.
Like, it's often agender people's pronouns sometimes.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I just want to touch on she-male as well.
Yep.
It's used all the time in things like porn.
Yeah.
And in similar circles like...
I think
Sex
we've run
work.
over 2 minutes, so like we can continue talking about them, just don't use the terms.
Yeah. It's used in things like sex works and stuff like that. And dating sites and things like that. I think it's really reductive that these sorts of industries really should pick up on being
Yeah.
trans positive, but they're not at all.
Yeah.
So even if you see them in these places, it does not make it okay to use it,
Yeah.
except unless that specific person says it is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But even then,
Well,
only
even
in
then,
that very narrow
just
context.
to that person, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't know, even if somebody uses it for themselves, don't use it on them if you are not
Yeah.
of, you know, the same group as them,
Mm. Unless they explicitly tell you to, I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Right.
And in
yeah,
that
I
case, maybe not around other people that don't know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one's really interesting.
Yep.
Really interesting. So it's another
Really
defamatory
interesting.
one. And they're saying the term bathroom bill. So it says a term created and used by the far-right extremists to oppose non-discrimination laws that protect transgender people. The term is geared to incite fear and panic at the thought of encountering transgender people in public restrooms. Simply refer to the non-discrimination law/ordinance instead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about this one.
No, I think we have a right to call them bathroom bills. I think
I
everybody
call
has
the
a right.
ones that exclude transgender people bathroom bills. Like, I see where this is coming from. Calling it a bathroom bill, like calling an inclusion bill that stops, like, discrimination against trans people a bathroom bill It's just a discrimination bill. Like, it's generally a
No,
wide...
but the point is that they're talking about the... Oh, okay, hang on.
Oh, did you think it was like the NC thing? It's kind of like the flip of the NC thing.
Oppose them. Yeah, but isn't the new laws that were put in, the one like in North Carolina, B whatever, sorry, I should know better, and B12?
I don't know.
That's a vitamin.
Damn. Okay.
I prefer the vitamin, to be
But my
honest.
point is, like, it's a catchy term.
Yeah.
It can be reclaimed by the trans community.
I thought that's what was happening.
Yeah, and it's like, this bathroom bill is bad. It's preventing us from using the bathrooms for us. It's not like keep scary people out of the bathrooms. I mean, they might have started using that first, but we are talking about the same thing. This is a culture war.
Yeah.
Like,
I do think it, like, just the term bathroom bill just makes it really clear how much hype is being created over something that is so
Just
incredibly
bathrooms.
simple and
Yeah.
ridiculous.
yeah.
Like, what this is trying to say is, like the bills that the far right calls bathroom bills are just equal rights bills. When we call something a bathroom bill, it specifically states trans women cannot go into these bathrooms, trans men cannot go into these bathrooms, blah, 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 blah. I'm Richard Nixon.
But aren't they? No. Maybe I'm misreading this, but the far right's using their legislation that they're putting forward that opposes the non-discrimination law. The non-discrimination law was always referred to as the non-discrimination law.
Okay. I think what this
But
is...
maybe you're right. Maybe it's being used for the opposites.
Yeah.
But I've only ever seen it used as
Me
like
too.
stopping trans people from using bathrooms or the bathroom bills.
Yeah.
I think what the article is actually saying is that the bathroom bill is a term referring to...
Used by fuckers.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. But when we use it, it's the opposite, so...
Well, actually, no. I think... I don't know. I still use bathroom bill to refer to the anti-trans
Yeah, that's what I mean.
legislation.
When we use it, it's for anti-trans stuff. When they use it, it's for
Still
like
anti-trans
equal
stuff?
rights stuff. No,
Are you sure?
yeah, that's what what this is saying.
Created and used by the far right extremists to oppose non-discrimination laws that
Yeah.
protect transgender people.
Yeah,
So they're opposing the laws, which means they're
They're
instating.
calling-
But they're
bathroom
calling the
bills.
non-discrimination laws bathroom bills.
yeah, that's
Whereas we're calling the
discriminatory laws.
bills bathroom bills.
Yeah,
I'm so confused by this, so I'm just going to drop it.
I'm pretty sure I've only read it being used by, like, referring to
I
these...
can totally see the far right doing this though.
Maybe they started it.
You started
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. Let's just leave that.
Let's leave it.
You
Let's
can make
go
up your
to-
own mind on the grammar.
Let's do a little bit of
Well, that's the last one. So
questions.
that's a nice confusing note to end on.
Yeah, like, we've got you feeling good. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We are professionals.
We're all on the same page.
We can all definitely read a paragraph.
All right, so we're taking a leaf out of other popular podcasts here because we have no
Wink, wink.
imagination of our own.
You guys gotta stop revealing your sources. You're always like, we're gonna do this thing because I saw it somewhere else.
My source is it's been passed down through my family. If people remember, I have an
Pasta
Italian
sauce?
last name. It's a very lovely pasta sauce.
Do you actually have a family pasta sauce?
Yes, but I don't actually know the recipe.
That's so fucking cool.
You've eaten it.
Okay, so let's start with the best thing. This is just a real good start. Look, we're going to take the piss a lot here
Good.
because some of this stuff is just downright awful.
Mhm.
But again, this is our attempt to like defang this shit
Yeah.
and to make it obvious how silly it is.
Should we, are we going to exclude the slurs or, call them slurs as we go over them? Or will we keep them in and then warn people that this is happening?
Can we just not say T-slur?
Yeah, we just won't say the T slur.
Okay, we won't say
Or
the
like those similar ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
But okay, so the best place to start is we're at Yahoo Answers. And
Good job.
yeah, so the first thing you'll note is that the category is all categories: society and culture, cultures and groups, and then it's lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgendered. They need to listen. They need to read this
Tune in.
GLAD media reference guide because if the name of the group is transgendered, then we're in for a wild ride. I think.
It's not even transgender. They don't even get their own section.
No, we're,
They get ligbigged.
I just love that it's past tense. It was,
When
but I'm
the
not.
transgendering.
When was it?
No, I think it's like you have transgendered. Like you are now in the state where the transgendering is complete.
Kind of like transcended.
Yeah, but you're transgendered.
You have transcended
you have to
gender.
transgend,
Oh my god.
and then you are transgendered once you're done.
Welcome back to the Transgending podcast.
I want to make a shirt that just says transgend.
Transgender.
That could be the first thing we sell on our supplies website, transgeneral.supplies. A shirt that says transgend. I'm going to look into that.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Which Yahoo are we starting with?
The worst.
The one about...
All my girlfriends are lesbian, what to do? Try bisexual. I love that one. I'll probably edit it out though. I just love it.
I just love the one because of how vague and weird it is.
Yeah, it's like all your girlfriends are lesbian.
No
Did they come
information about
out
the person.
as or?
Just like, oh my... Like, how many girlfriends do you have?
Yeah.
Is this like consecutive or do you have them all at the same time?
It's not like they were lesbian. They are like they're not no longer your girlfriends. They're like all of your girlfriends are currently lesbian. How are you doing this and having a
So
problem?
many girlfriends,
Yeah.
so many lesbians.
So many lesbians.
Why don't you like it?
What's the problem here, buddy? What's the problem here, my guy?
I don't know which ones to pick out.
Damn.
What is your shortlist?
So we set up all the things. We set up all the things you shouldn't say, and then we're just going to go right in there and say a bunch of them.
Good.
All right, here's this one. Transgenders, semicolon. Rather than changing their bodies, why don't we just change their brains? That sounds like a book title.
By Jermaine Greer.
It's going to be my autobiography. Transgenders, semicolon. That's it.
And then the whole book is a long
semicolon.
sentence.
Okay, so why don't we do this, huh?
Huh. Weird. It's
Because
almost
they've
like
tried.
don't do that.
They've fucking tried. In the 70s, they tried to like give hormone doses because they thought that there was an imbalance of that. And they just did the exact opposite and made dysphoria even worse. So that, the medical community was just like, this does not work. Let's not do this. Hey, and they tried the opposite. And they found that it worked actually pretty good.
Also, conversion therapy is what that is.
Yeah.
That's what changing a person's mind is.
Doesn't fucking work.
They're not saying
no.
mind, they're saying brain. Like, are they implying some kind of transhuman, let's do brain transplants?
Let's fix it all. All of it.
True, yeah. These questions are worded in such a way that you could just create
That's so good.
any
That's
type of meaning.
like the best part about
It's
it.
good. It's open to our interpretation.
Yeah.
And there's someone had an answer here saying about, hey, like when you change, like the brain is part of the body. So like if you're changing hormones and changing the body, you are changing the brain. Like if you
Yep.
if you are on HRT, you're changing your brain. So some people do that already. Cheers, mate. All right, let's find another one.
Here's one that like is like possibly something we might want to take out, but I'll go for it.
Okay.
Which one is it?
What is more offensive for a man who identifies as a transgender female? Is it more offensive to call him or it?
They're both awful.
There are so many genders here. I'm like, is this person a man or a woman? It's a woman?
It's
Wait,
like
what
they're
is this?
talking about a
Trans
trans woman.
Wait, how's
But
the wording?
they are completely to
What is
call
more offensive?
a man who identifies as a transgender female. So this person is obviously like going from the point of they are deluded, they are wrong.
But I still want to really know.
Yeah, I want to know. No.
What's
They want to know
least
what's the
or
more
most
offensive one, and I bet I know why they want to know what's the more offensive one
Why did you
because
go to
they're an
Yahoo
asshole.
Answers to try and offend someone?
No.
No, but like just go from your gut if you really want to be offensive. Just say what comes first.
Just use
Don't
them
fucking do
interchangeably.
internet research.
Screaming across the street like you usually do, buddy.
Look for the response and gauge it based on that.
Field work.
Field.
Are we going to answer it though?
You
I would
know
say,
what?
I would say it.
I would say him.
Is that a cider?
No comment.
Okay.
I don't think either are good. It's just like don't use either.
They both are
You
really
shit.
bad. Don't use either, you fucker.
I think they just add question marks on the end.
Just to make sure it's a question.
Anyone
Some of
else
them just
think
look like
blah 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 blah.
aren't questions, but they all have question marks on them.
Oh my god, transgenders are gay. I don't care what they say to the contrary. Question mark.
Yeah, I don't care what they say to the contrary.
That's the thing I want on a t-shirt. I don't care what they say to the contrary. Transgenders are gay.
Put it on
There's
multiple
so
lines so we
much
can make
hate
it
in
the
here.
trans flag in the text.
Oh, that's awful. I love that version. But like, do they mean gay as in shit, like
I
just a
don't
bad
fucking
thing,
know.
or gay as in actual like?
Open to our
Gay,
interpretation. Like, as you're rounding up gay boyness, would you wear a shirt like that? Let's get a poll going
That
of
said
one.
what?
What?
That said what? A shirt like what?
transgenders are gay and I don't care what they say to the contrary.
I would personally enjoy it, but that's that pressure every time you go out in public as a gay or a trans. You got to represent everybody and not be offensive.
Oh, God.
That shit would be a minefield.
What are some funny words that rhyme with the T-slur?
Oh my fucking god.
Fuck. Some funny words.
Funny words though.
Fanny.
That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, I don't went there. I'm sorry. It had to happen.
What if you had a good
Goanna
friend?
is a half rhyme.
If you had a good friend named Stan.
Goanna is a half rhyme with that word.
God. If you had a good friend named Stan and you called him Stanny. I don't know. That's it. I'm out.
Goanna's better than that. And then Goanna rhymes with Joanna.
Okay.
I have to stop or I will accidentally write a transphobic rap inside my head.
Oh my god. Do transgender people really think you're a bigot if you don't want to date them? You know what? We can actually answer this.
Yeah, this one's a little bit less silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's got
No.
talking points.
If you don't want to specifically date a trans person, then no, you're not a bigot. If you don't want to date trans people, then yes, you're probably a bigot.
Yeah.
You are a bigot. Like, if you were very interested in a person up until the point that they revealed they were trans, and then you're like, nope, sorry, can't do it, don't date trans people, you're a bigot. Just gonna let you know that.
Would you be willing to work with the person though? Like, if they were like a kind-hearted bigot? If they,
Kind-hearted bigot.
Listen, if they were like into you and then they found out you were trans and they were like, oops, maybe this is a thing I can't deal with, but I'm still into you. Would you cut it loose or would you be all like, oh, maybe we can work through this?
Like how can't they deal with it but they're still into me? I don't understand how that, like, gels.
Maybe they just can't deal with like, I don't know, some kind of physical aspect like the genitals or something.
I'm not particularly sexual, so
Okay.
yeah. So I guess if
So-
that is the problem, then yeah.
Okay.
You?
No, I don't feel like I would waste my time. Like I would just have to be like, get out.
Like, I need my sex, get out.
No, but like, also because there is an implicit like, I'm just going to ignore your identity.
Yeah.
I'm going to be disgusted by you because of what you are.
Oh, I was taking it from the perspective of someone having trauma or something.
No, they just
They just can't
they
handle
just can't
it.
reconcile it.
Oh, fuck that. No, fuck off. Yeah, get out.
Like I said before, unless I'm specifically talking about trauma, I'm not talking about trauma.
Yeah.
Because otherwise trauma comes up as like a weird get out of jail free card.
Does
In
it
a
have
way,
like the little Monopoly man on it with wings?
Yes, it does.
Uh-huh.
People be all like, oh yeah, but this because of this. And I'm like, no, but I wasn't referring to it in that way.
Yeah, I getcha.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just tuned out because I'm reading ahead.
Oh, okay.
Trying to find some more ones. What's my take on it? Generally,
What's your hot take?
my hot take is, yeah, if you're into someone up to the point that you find out they're trans and then that suddenly changes, then yeah, like,
Fuck that.
I mean, people can have all sorts of genitalia too. Like they might have had surgery, whatever. That's also a possibility.
Yeah.
Like if that's still like, oh no, I'm out, then like no, like
Death's a bigot.
that's a bigger.
Yeah.
Oh, but I really wanted kids. Yeah, but you don't know if a cis woman's going to be able to have kids. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, like there's just
Yeah.
no black and white on this issue.
I really
So,
want a
yeah.
kid. Lucky for you, I've got like an incubator in the back room. You just plug it into the wall, it hums, and you drop in the eggs.
Like,
Like-
if the person is that a fucking fridge? Because that's what fridges do. If the person is so into like continuing their own gene, then they could just like, donate their part of the situation
Situation, I like it.
and like get the rest from someone else.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty easy scenario really to get
Hmm.
around.
Just donate their part to like a sperm bank, and then just be like, give this to whoever, and then they just get a nice big portfolio of kids. There you go.
No, or they just use like a donor egg or something like that.
Yeah, that works too.
And like a surrogate, etc., etc., etc.
And also, there's like forthcoming medical advances that like will apply to trans women as well. I'm sure they won't get it for quite a while past when cis women get it, but like not only uterus transplants, which are already happening. There's going to be stuff like growing a uterus from your own tissue, from your own DNA, so that it doesn't get rejected by your body, and you don't have to use those awful immunosuppressant things. Like,
Weren't they also talking about like just creating embryos or zygotes or whatever the reproductive term is, just from people's cells.
Yeah, and sperm from skin cells.
Yeah.
Yeah. The future is wild.
All right, how about this one? If transgenders are real women, is Pinocchio a real boy?
Oh, fuck.
I think we know from that story that Pinocchio, yes, is a real boy.
He's a real boy.
That's
So-
the whole point of the fucking story.
Yeah, did you read or watch the film?
Pinocchio's trans, wow. Is that what I meant to take away from this?
He's
Swallowed by a whale.
transgender. He's sort of trans
Puppet?
flesh.
Flesh?
Went from
Trans
wood-
substance?
transubstantiation. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's potentially a little too religious. Okay. Transgenders is a bad word. It really is. But look,
It
that's what we're
really
going to find here.
I like this one a lot. It has nothing to do with being trans, but I
Sure.
love it. How to make up off a dildo. My daughter got into my makeup and dildo and got it on my dildo, and I can't get it off my dildo. Any tips? It's black eyeshadow.
A lot of these have got to be trolls.
It's so good.
I just love how many times they said the word my dildo. Like,
They don't know how to use like
pronouns.
They don't know how to use pronouns.
Well, they're working on a new play called Waiting for Dildo.
There was actually an all-female Waiting for Godot.
Holy shit, what?
Yeah. I
Oh.
think it was in the 90s or something when everything was all-female.
Oh. Everything. Go back in time, there were so many lesbians in the 90s. Couldn't help
There
it.
was.
It's still around.
There are no more left.
What's your reaction to Target allowing transgender bathrooms? I think it's cool.
They're not allowing transgender bathrooms. That's not happening.
They're not creating a new set of bathrooms just for trans people, because
Because
that's what
imagine,
that
they'd
sounds
be like
like.
the cis man bathroom, the cis woman bathroom, the trans man bathroom, the trans woman bathroom, like the non-binary bathroom. Like, and then also like accessible versions of all of those.
Yeah,
So then 10
that's a
bathrooms.
big mess.
10.
10 bathrooms.
Well, I just went through and it won't scroll anymore. I hit the end. I've done it. I've finished Yahoo Answers.
Fuck. I don't know anything about this question except, like, I know from the answer that was best answer, it was troll question, so I'm fine with reading it out. Help convincing my son being gay is wrong. Best answer. Who names their kid Harold?
What the fuck?
Wait, what was it?
Help convincing my son being gay is wrong. And who names their kid Harold?
Where did that come from? I don't get it. Help me.
All right. It's probably somewhere in there, like, my kid is named Harold, and yeah, hello, my son is 14 and called Harold, and I caught him looking at gay pornography on the internet. I said it is wrong.
That's gonna be
My
a
kid is
troll.
14 and called Harold.
Are we just gonna assume these are trolls or not trolls?
No, that's got to be a troll. Like, who goes, my kid is 14? Oh, also, here's their name.
Also, like, why would you go to, like, literally, why,
Well,
as an
Yahoo
adult
Answers
and a
is such a
parent, why would you
cesspool.
go to Yahoo Answers?
It's incredible.
Why would you not go to, like, you know, your spouse, your own parent,
Your priest.
church? Exactly. Like, there are so many places you could go to that aren't Yahoo Answers. A book, a parenting book.
There is just no moderation here, huh? It's just the Wild West, isn't it?
Are lesbians more likely to date a trans woman or a trans man? That is actually a really interesting
This
question.
is actually an interesting question.
Somebody actually asked me once if a lesbian was into me, would I date them?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't start raising the question if they are a lesbian indeed?
No, they wouldn't raise the question because if they are a lesbian and they're looking to date you, they're probably a TERF.
The questioner,
don't.
it was just a pretty flippant question, but they were just basing it entirely on my body.
Mm.
And I was like, this lesbian doesn't, like, even see me for who I am. Why do they want to date me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then they're also objectifying you, probably.
Yeah, okay, so there is this history in TERF communities, like, and historically, like, trans guys still remaining within their
Yeah.
previous,
I know
like,
about that.
lesbian communities and dating within it,
Yeah.
which is complicated, and not having that identity, I don't feel like I can speak too much on it, but like, if, for instance, you say you're a lesbian and you, like, will date trans men, but not trans women,
Yeah.
then, like, you're trans. You're like trans misogynistic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
really.
Yeah.
Just transphobic in general, really.
I just can't see. Yeah.
If you don't date trans men and you don't date trans women, then you're transmisogynistic. But if you date trans men, you don't date trans women.
Like, don't deny someone else's identity just to keep yours intact.
Yeah.
Like how you define yours by genitals or whatever.
Gold star.
I don't know why you would be a trans man and date somebody who identifies as a lesbian, though.
People get lonely, okay?
But it would just be, like, too much. Like, it would just be...
Yeah, I agree.
Could never do it.
Yeah. Like, I can see... I don't imagine that these things would last long, even for people that are willing to go into them.
Like, I don't know, kind of on that topic, there are parts, like, certain parts of, like, I did identify as, like, butch for a while. And there are remnants of that identity that I still kind of carry.
Gay mechanic.
No, the gay mechanic right now is more of a John Travolta kind of thing.
Oh, sorry. I'm not very familiar, except Scientologist. That part I know.
Like from Greece.
And Pilot.
Oh, from Greece. Haven't seen it.
Oh my fucking god.
You tried to make me watch it.
Yeah,
I was like, no.
Everyone's got to watch Greece.
Mm-mm.
Oh no.
It's so musical.
Oh, but they're so good looking.
Oh my god. Oof. No moderation at all on here.
Yeah, please don't do this for yourself.
Yeah, like, don't look. We're doing this for you.
We highly recommend not going into this.
Your good buddies here at
Cesspit.
Transgeneral.
Read it out and we can cut it.
Ugh.
If you
Why-
want, like, don't read anything.
Why
else.
can't liberals just admit that men who look at their penises and think that they're women simply have a psychological disorder? What the fuck?
Do you think...
I looked directly at my penis and went, whoop.
That's the only time you ever
Trans?
think you're a woman.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
when you're looking down there.
Yeah. It's not like I went to, like, let's use a stereotype. I went to a mirror and I was like,
When I was applying my lipstick.
Alright, this is actually a good one. MTF, sex change. This is just going against everything we ever said. This is beautiful. MTF, sex change. Can you still have U penis after the surgery? So this is two questions.
you penis.
Two questions. Firstly, do you mean like keeping it in a jar?
Hang on.
Like if you get another body part out?
Is it like YOU penis or is it like U penis, like
I think,
U-hole?
look, honestly, they just dropped they left the R off U.
Okay.
They just made a little typo.
I was expecting U-penis, like the U-haul shipping company.
God, yeah, no, I don't think that exists.
I want it to exist.
Yeah. And, or like, do they mean like have surgery but still have the penis?
Well, you can have an orchidectomy.
Yeah, and then the first person here, whose name is Charlotte,
Ooh, who could it be?
responded 23. Was this actually you?
It's probably me.
You actually responded?
I think it's me.
a trans femme. It's you!
Fuck.
Oh no, you messed me with
Who
it
says
now.
trans femme but me?
Did you just nominate yourself as the only trans femme?
I'm the only trans femme. No, on Yahoo Answers, I've seen no one else say trans femme. It's always trans woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because this place sucks. Cesspool.
It's just a mess!
It's just a
I'm
mess.
so sorry to put you through this. Look, let us know, like, really strongly if you don't want us to do this anymore. But I personally find this so entertaining.
Oh, it's great.
It's cathartic, really.
Like, it's the kind of thing that I've done by myself and then gotten depressed about it, but because I've got other people to joke with, it's
Yeah.
fine.
And, like, it's like
Yes.
they look like the silly ones.
It's like watching Jesus Camp.
Oh my god, I tried watching that by myself.
Actually,
It
no,
was...
Jesus Camp is really interesting because then you go back and you watch like they did like follow-up interviews
Mm-hmm.
with the main kids, and some of them are just like, yeah, that was weird. I don't believe in God anymore.
That was fucking weird, hey?
Yeah, but the main kid is still like, oh no, I still love Jesus. I still want to talk about him all the time.
I'm gonna try and get the soundbite from the Japan history.
I saw that.
I love it. I was gonna say something that makes me sound like a hipster.
Oh, do it.
I saw it when it was only a few thousand views because it was like going around this cool trans femme circle I'm part of.
Like, I don't know why people don't want to sound like a hipster.
It's fun.
It's great to see things before other people do.
I've got more cred. I also saw Gangnam Style and it had a few thousand views.
Fucking Gangnam Style. I would literally prefer it if I would have never seen that.
Yeah,
Actually, I like it. I like it because of the way the West reacted to like an honest,
I kind of like.
contextual satire.
Yeah.
I like how we were all just like, oh, this is fucking weird. But to like
how
actual
fucking
people who, it was concerned about, it made sense.
Mm.
And then we all just did the dance, which is like an embarrassing
No one can do
blight.
the dance
But I
properly.
think people explained the context of the satire in the West that we kind of like, oh yeah, this is something that we can mock. Like, that's a funny thing. We can do it.
Yeah. I really like some of the cinematography of it, though. Like, walking forwards into the fan while, like, whipped cream blows all over you. Fucking fantastic.
I think he's brilliant. I think the aesthetic and the humor is just so, like...
Oh, it's spot on.
I think it just sort of, like, it transcends culture.
But it's just that our culture, like, did the song to death, and no one likes it anymore, and it's
Yeah.
not the fault of the artist.
But his other songs since have all been quite good too.
Yeah, I like them.
His little dances are really cool. What are the most offensive names for LBGT people? That's an interesting order.
It is. I've never seen bisexual come before gay in any circumstance.
It's kind of...
I've seen GLBT.
Like, I am a college student and I have to figure out the 25 most offensive words in the LBGT culture / lifestyle.
I thought they meant name. Like, what is the most offensive name? Like, who would call themselves an
Transgending.
offensive...
But this is like...
But like, why? Why?
It's not real. Clearly they're just trying to find out slurs or just trolling. But
Yeah.
like, it's just so contrived. I'm a college student and I'm doing an assignment on offensive words. Someone responded with, Yahoo won't let me type them, so here's a link to Wikipedia. And apparently...
Destroy it. Don't tell me it exists. Don't tell me it exists.
It's just slang terms, so most of them, a lot of them won't even be offensive. But as if, like, we know that you can write a whole bunch of trans slurs.
Yahoo doesn't fucking care. Just so long as you don't say fuck. That's what they
Really?
continue. Yeah. Any variation on fuck is censored out on Yahoo. Not though.
There was another word, though.
Whoops.
Hey, do you know? Could you bleep yourself?
Yeah.
Good.
The F slur
Yeah.
Yeah.
for gay men. That apparently is, because people have to space it out.
Yeah, that is.
That's a bit. Because like I could understand them censoring fuck, but not like gender and sexuality related slurs because they are a bit specific and niche. But like if they're gonna do that word, they should do the other word.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, the swear words aren't offensive, but slurs are offensive. And to some people it's the opposite, and they're the worst people.
The only purpose of a slur is to cause harm.
Yeah. What do you think of gay / trans people? Are they really people? It was all caps, so I had to yell it.
Yep. Just
But,
checked. I'm real.
Ugh. Do you agree with eminent feminist Jermaine Greer that I'm just going to stop there?
Eminent
You know
feminist,
what?
No, we don't. Not at all.
Not at
We've
all.
touched on this.
We don't even need to read the rest of the sentence. Whatever it is, it's bullshit.
You know what? I think we've exhausted
That's it. We're done.
Yahoo Answers for the day. We're done. We're
Do we want
finished.
to look at like? Actually, you know what? We'll do it next podcast because like now we've segmented it in such a way that people may have stopped listening. So we'll do like the Ask Transgender stuff next week.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks for listening to us read out awful things, everyone. It was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's cool because it's like these are real things that real people are saying, whether
Yeah.
they're trolls or not. It exists in society. There's someone out there typing this stuff, and if you come across it, like,
Don't put up with it.
no, don't put up with it, and you might have some ideas of things to say, and these people deserve to be mocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, just rip into them.
If
Give
you're on
them an
Yahoo
old
Answers,
ribbon.
you're just hanging around and someone says something grossly transphobic, have a go.
Make fun
Have a
of
go
them.
at putting them in their
Yep.
place. It seems to mostly be trolls though, hey.
Even if it's not Yahoo Answers, like a place where it's less likely to be trolls. Just like, if you're in a position where you're safe and you have a good sense of humour, give them all ribbon. Give them an old,
Give them a gentle
kick in the
in the ribs.
kick in the back of the knee.
Just give them one of those, you know,
Give them one of those German suplexes.
just do that little tricky thing where you put your foot on the back of someone's knee and apply gentle pressure and make them lose balance a little bit, but only if it's safe to do so. Actually, ask for consent first and then do it. Is it okay if I do this thing and trick you? Yes, go ahead. Oh, I'm tricked.
Trick me,
You
like
trick
one
them.
of them. All right, thanks for listening, everyone. You can find us on Twitter at Transgeneral. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Transgeneral. And you can find our Patreon at patreon.com/transgeneral. You can also get to that through transgeneral.supplies, which is our website. You can find our podcast on iTunes, which you probably know. You're listening to it. Please give us a rating on iTunes. We forgot to ask you for this for a while.
Please help.
Please. It'd be very nice of you. More listeners would be great. We're kind of capped out at like 600. We're not really getting any more. Not sure where. Like, we got huge spikes without doing anything.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Please tell your friends.
Get them to tell their friends.
Get them to be like, this is a podcast that does not rip off any other podcast for this show format.
Yeah, it's new brand, shiny new content.
Shiny new.
There are like 8,000 Facebook groups about trans people for trans people.
Spam them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put this in them.
You want to do it?
We don't have to.
You're my
Listeners
social
can do
media
it.
officer now. You've been elected. Chelsea, agree.
I hate that
I
job.
second that. Hey, speaking of social media, I'm trying to use the Twitter a little bit more. You can find me at ChelseaKJS. I go by Chelsea Laserbeam because pew pew.
Pew pew. You can find me at transprogrammer, and I go by Panic at the Cisco.
That is so
Is that
good.
like the brand
It is
named
both.
after San Francisco?
It's both.
Do they make routers or something? What do they do?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm a programmer, so it's Cisco.
It's really clever.
Thank you.
Do you remember the singer Cisco that did the thong song?
No. But that works really well with Priscilla,
it was-
Queen of the Desert.
It was spelt differently. Anyway.
Oh.
Hey, Kate, any last final words? Because that's what last and final both mean the same thing.
I also have a Twitter, but I forget my handle, so don't.
Yeah.
You can't look for me on it.
Well, now that you're a Coco host, we can put you on...
Coco.
Coco.
Coco host.
That's so cool.
We can put you on the on our Twitter page for people to find you.
Well, when I tweet something, I'll let you know.
Cool. Thanks. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone.
We've been Transgeneral. Don't be shit.
Don't be shit.